In today's video, I am going to teach you how to create a webhook in Klaviyo. To begin, open Klaviyo and look toward the left sidebar menu. This is where most of the main tools live, including flows, events, and integrations. The next thing you will do is click Flows in that left sidebar menu. When you click it, you should see the Flows area load, where you can manage existing automation and also create new ones. This step matters because webhooks are typically set up inside a flow, so you need to be in the correct workspace before you can add the right action. Once you are in the Flows section, take a moment to look for the option to start a new flow. Next, click Create Flow. After you click that, Klaviyo will ask you to select your trigger. Your trigger is the event that starts the automation. In the instructions you have, the example trigger is something like placed order, but you can choose the trigger that matches your use case. For example, if you are trying to send information when an order is submitted, placed order is the right type of trigger. If your goal is related to another customer event, you would select that corresponding trigger here instead. This choice is important because it controls when the webhook will fire. After you choose the trigger, Klaviyo will move you into the Flow Builder timeline. This is the visual area where you connect steps together. Now you will add the webhook step. On the left panel, find the webhook action block. The next instruction is to drag the webhook action block from the left panel into your flow timeline. As you drag it, you should see the timeline highlight in the place where it will connect. Dropping it into the correct spot ensures the webhook runs at the right time within the flow sequence. Take care to place it so it sits after your trigger, since the trigger is what initiates everything. Once the webhook action block is added, you will be configuring it. At this point, you may notice a prompt related to authentication. The instructions you provided mention that if multi-factor authentication is required, you should handle it normally and proceed. If Klaviyo asks you to confirm through the multi-factor process, follow the on-screen instructions exactly as they appear and complete the verification step. This ensures that the integration and action can run securely, and it prevents the webhook from failing later due to missing access confirmations. After you have completed any multi-factor authentication prompts, you should be returned to the webhook configuration. Even though the core instruction here is to add the webhook action and proceed, it helps to understand what you are looking at. The webhook action block is the part of your flow that sends data out to an external endpoint. From here, you will typically be able to configure the details Klaviyo needs in order to send the request, such as how the data should be transmitted and which flow properties should be included. The exact fields and options you see can vary depending on how Klaviyo is set up and what trigger you chose. Now, with the webhook block correctly placed and any authentication handled, your flow is set up to include the webhook step in the right spot. At this stage, your main goal is to make sure the flow timeline reflects what you intend, the trigger at the beginning, followed by the webhook action. Once everything is in place, you can review the flow visually to confirm the webhook block is present and connected as expected. When you are ready, you would continue through the remaining flow setup and save or publish according to your workflow. That final publish step is not included in the instructions you gave, so this tutorial focuses specifically on how to create and add the webhook action within Klaviyo. And that covers everything you need to know. You now know how to open flows, create a flow with your trigger, add the webhook action block into the timeline, and handle multi-factor authentication if it appears, so you can build a webhook-based automation in Klaviyo with confidence.